On this training video, I will be going over with you how to set up your channels. So channels are essentially the way or the means of communication that you can send. So you can send emails, you can send text messages, you can post to your Facebook page. Those are all different channels that you can set up under this channel section here. Now, by default, you guys will all see email, SMS, and voice. So this will all automatically be options for you. Now, if you look onto the right, you'll see that there are option buttons next to each one of the email, SMS, and voice option. The districts here, when you click on options and edit, the default email address that you show here, or even the buildings, but I would recommend having the district set this up. The default email that you see here is what is for the email, the reply to email address. And I'll show you guys in a minute where this all comes into play. So you want to put an email address. Either a lot of people do a no reply here, or if there's an actual reply to emails that you want to provide, you can do that. This is just going to fill in for the default. You do have the option to adjust this for each individual message. So this is just going to be a time saver so that you don't have to fill in an email every time. Same is true for the voice. So if I click on options for voice and click edit, there is a call from phone number. So this is the number that's going to show in the caller ID. Just note here, whatever phone number you put here, a lot of times and a lot of feedback that we've received, people don't answer the phone because they don't recognize the call and they call it back. So whatever number you add here, if it's the front desk, if it's an admin, just FYI, you'll get a lot of phone calls in return. So keep that in mind when you're choosing what phone number to put here. And again, I'll show you where this comes into play. Now, if you go to the SMS, you'll see options. There's no edit button next to the option for the SMS text. That is because the text is required to come from one of our phone numbers, so you don't have the option to change that. But you will recognize that there's an access button. So all the channels that you do set up, there is an access option. This gives you the ability to restrict who sees this particular channel. And I'll go over that here in a second. Other than email, SMS, and voice, you do have the ability to set up different channels. You'll see that I already have some set up here. For you to go in and add a channel, you'll click on the blue button, add channel, and then these are the different options we have. So Facebook, Twitter, site widget, and push notification. Facebook, you do have to be the admin for your Facebook and Twitter accounts in order to set this up. So you'll see when I click on Facebook and click next, it's going to ask me to sign in, which means that you do have to be, again, an admin in order to do that. I'm not going to sign in because I've done that already. And you'll see once you've signed in, it should be your building name here and whatever page that you're linking out to. And same for Twitter. So you'll see that I'm linking to my own personal accounts here. So the same process with Twitter. You'll see that there's also a site widget and there's also push notification. Now, if your school does not have the app, you won't see a push notification option here. And something to keep in mind with the push notification, you cannot restrict who you send push notifications to. So if you send a message out and you include push notification, anybody who has the app will receive that message, not just the people in the specific list that you're sending to. So keep that in mind if you decide to use the push notification option. The site widget, you'll see when I click on site widget, it's going to ask me to provide a name and mark if it's active or not. Site widget is essentially, it produces a pop-up. So let's say you've got a school closing and you want this to go be your home page widget. So I'm just going to go ahead and name it home page because that is where this widget is actually sitting on. I'm going to make it active. Go ahead and click save. And then it's going to provide you an embed code, and you'll put this code on your homepage of the website. And every time you send out a message and include the homepage widget, that message is going to pop up wherever you place this code. So that is essentially what the site widget does. Now if I go back to my channels, And this is more the option access button here. This is more for Facebook. This is more for Twitter. A lot of schools have their own Facebook pages, and I want to make sure that only the people that are in that school can post to my school's Facebook page. So I can go ahead and provide access. Maybe this is School One's Facebook. Anybody that has the permissions for building School One will be able to send a message to this Facebook page. Now I can do this for just me. Maybe I only want to provide the ability for me and only me to post to the Facebook page. I can do that if I want to. Or everybody, maybe you want to give everybody access to this. So you can drill down these permissions based on what building you belong to, or even just you. You'll see all of the widgets or all of the channels have this option. Just remember when you're dealing with the email and the text and the voice, that you don't have the ability to set up additional ones of those. So just keep that in mind when you're setting up the permissions and stuff like that. So once your channels are set up, you have the ability to send messages out to any of these actual channels. So when I go to my messages tab, and when I come here to create a new message, I'm not going to go into detail here for the messages. You guys will be able to see the training videos and stuff like that for this section. But I did want to point out where those default numbers and emails come into play. So if I just create a new message, and you'll see here are my channels. So when I click on the blue plus button, this is where I go to set up my channels. So you'll see all the channel options that I just set up over on my other page. If I select on the email and go ahead and click save, you'll see that default reply to email filled in here. So here I can actually change this. So if I wanted to change this to something else, I can always change it, but it's meant to make me not have to fill in an email every time. Same with the phone number. So if I go to set up my phone number, so I'm going to go here to my channel button again. And if I go to select my phone number, you'll see that that default number filled in here for me as well. Now, if you guys are a building or maybe you have a specific phone number for your personal use, and you don't want to use the district by default, so maybe you want to put a building email in there or a building phone number in there, instead of going to your channels to adjust this, up here is a silhouette. If you click on that and click on my profile, under the site settings, you can set your own personal default for your voice channel and for your email. So go ahead and put in whatever phone number you want and whatever email you want. And when you personally go in and send out messages, that's what's going to default fill in for you. So there's a couple options for you. If you guys have any questions on setting up your channels, you can always refer to the information here, the SendIt manual, the knowledge base, or you can always email support and reach out to us with any questions. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.